Well, good evening, everyone. This is a very unplanned, unscheduled upload. I haven't been in any matches over the last weekend, and I've been enjoying putting some live match videos on for you. And I know a lot of you have been enjoying them over the last few weeks. I've been uploading one video every single week, and I know you've been enjoying those. But because I haven't been in a match over the last few days, I just haven't got a match to upload for you this week. I have still been uploading to my Patron TV channel. That's the membership channel. So if you're into your tuition coaching style videos, then that might be a channel that you want to, take a look at. I'll put the link directly underneath this video for you. I've been asked to do several live sessions like this, Q&A sessions, and I always said that I was only going to do that if it was the same day each week and if I was going to upload at the same time, each week, just so that you get to know when it's going to be, loaded on, and just so you know it's all ready for you. So this is just a test. I've got to test the internet connection. I've got to test all the various little bits of the system because I've got to decide how this is going to be tied into the channel. And I thought, whilst this is a week when I haven't got a live match for you, I just thought it'd be an appropriate time just to test it and just to get a feel for if this is the kind of thing that you want to see. I had planned to be out on the bank for the last couple of days, but the weather has been absolutely atrocious. I'm sure you all agree. And it's really bad right now. So I hope you're all nice and indoors and safe and dry. It's, it is winter after all. And I think we've got away with it over the last few weeks. But so I haven't managed to get out and do some filming on the bank for you. I think some of you have enjoyed the latest two videos that I've done of carp fishing. They've both been carp fishing. One was one was method feeder fishing in winter, and the other one was targeting carp with the bomb and corn, and just going through the ways that you can explore and chase fish around your peg and just look at different areas of the swim. So I know you've enjoyed those, and I wanted to get back out and do one yesterday and the day before, but just purely because the conditions, I just didn't get a chance, because as you can imagine, when you're trying to film in those conditions, everything's against it. It's hard enough trying to catch fish at this time of year. So on certain occasions it can be really difficult just to get a bite. But if you're also trying to film it, and not only film it, but you want to film it well, and everything was against it. So unfortunately I'm not being able to do that this week. It's great to see some of you already logging on, so good evening everyone, hope you're all well. I'll just have a quick scroll through some of these, because if I don't read these and address them, there's no point in doing it as a live session, is there? So good evening everyone. Jason, really random, hi, you all right mate? Everyone's there. Neil, hi up Neil. Jeff, Stephen, it's all working good. Thanks Lee, thanks for letting me know that it's all working. Please give me some feedback. You don't need to do it now, but you can do it after this, because this video will remain on YouTube, so you can watch it at a later date. What I want to get from you is this kind of session that you are interested in? The ideal scenario for me for this sort of a session would be directly after a match, maybe, say on a Sunday evening, where we could just kind of talk about the weekend, talk about the matches that you've been involved in, and I could talk you through my match, and that will also help me out as regards getting ideas for content, as regards what you want to see in future videos, because I'm sure you appreciate getting direct feedback right here, right now, as I'm actually reading it. So, I have got more time than ever to spend on producing videos and getting on the bank. Obviously, I need to constantly up my own game as regards fishing. So I'm getting out on the bank, trying new things out, rigs and all that sort of stuff, and just working on my own game. But obviously, while I'm out there doing things like that, I can obviously do filming for YouTube and for Patron TV as well. So time is very precious. And I've got some of the events I've got coming up this year are incredibly important to me. And I need to devote a lot of time, effort, and in some cases money as well to those events. And so I want to spend my time wisely for you guys that are watching these videos, because, I just really appreciate you following and supporting the channel. So please let me know what you want to see and how you want to see it. Okay, so sessions like this, is there a day of the week that's better for some of you than others? Is there a night of the week when you're not watching Love Island or whatever it is that you watch on an evening when you're not watching these sorts of things? Is there a certain evening that's better for you? And what sort of times? Is it 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock? You tell me, okay? Because I want to tailor make this sort of thing around you guys, because without you watching, there's no point in me doing it. So I'm going to have a quick catch up with some of these messages. So thanks for letting me know that, Lee. It's working. Hello, everybody. Everybody's saying hello. Gareth Barlow. Hi, Gareth, mate. Hi, Jamie. Big fan of yours. Thank you. The live Q&As are a great idea. If you keep giving me positive feedback and you're getting something out of it, obviously I want you to watch, but I want you to watch, but only if you're getting something out of it, because there's lots of things that, you know, I tend to skip over in certain videos, because a lot of it is stuff that we haven't really given much thought for years and years and years, and that's because, you know, we're constantly, you know, upping our game. So there are a lot of things that get overlooked, and if sessions like this are going to help you out, then please let me know. Hi, Andre. Finally, no need to explain anything. Anything that you post is pure gold. Thank you, mate. Thanks, Mike Pattinson. Thanks for that, mate. What else we got? There's lots of comments on here. All the comments that I do miss on here right now, because obviously I'm trying to just kind of talk to you as well and answer the questions. If there are any I do miss on here, I will go back to them and answer them for you in the comment section below at a later date. All right, when I get a chance. So thanks for all the great feedback, everybody. If anybody's got any quick questions, I mean, this is not going to be a long video tonight anyway. It's just kind of a check-in with you. So if you've got any quick questions, just fire away. Just put them in the comment section and I'll give you my my feedback to them straight away while we're here. Yeah, I am talking a lot with my hands, Gary. That's true. It's just where I am. It must be my Italian blood. That's what it is. You know, everything's overemphasized and it's got a gesture. Gary Adams. Hi, Gary. Do you ever fish longer tails of method feeders rather than the standard 4-inch? Yes, I mean, I have done it in the past, to be honest. 4 inches is the usual length. I mean, most method feeder hook lengths are tied up to 4-inch anyway, if you're using ready tied hook lengths. But I have used longer ones. I did a video on YouTube on this channel, and it was fishing. I think the aim of the video was talking about a match that I fished at Boston Lakes, where I was leaving the hook bait out of the feeder. It was only a 4-inch hook length, but I was leaving it out. And at a later stage, I did actually try it, not on the same day, but at a later session after that, I did try longer hook lengths. I think I went up to about 10-inch, I think it was. And I caught some fish doing that, you know. It was just a really nice tight bolt rig, you know. And some days, just like you do with a normal conventional feeder rig, you might want to play around with the length of the hook length just to find out what is right on the day, because, you know, it's very rare that you get any two sessions the same. You know, you've got to tailor make your rig to suit the conditions that you're fishing under the conditions and the target species that you're targeting as well. So it's very much trial and error, that sort of thing. But yes, in answer to your question, yes, I have done that before. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Andrew, Derek. Good. I'm glad you're all getting something out of the videos. I know we all want a little bit of entertainment, but I know everyone's at a different stage of the fishing. Everyone's at a different place in their fishing, and it's good if you're picking up little tips and tricks, or even if it's just to see the way that we do things. So that's good to hear. What hook length would you start with on bomb and braid? That's from Steve Douglas. It's not very often that I fish bomb and braid. The reason for that is I very rarely, as you've probably noticed, fish open matches. I am going to be fishing more this year, but most of the matches I fish tend to be qualifiers or a league match or that sort of thing. But when I have fished with bomb and braid, this is one of the videos that I wanted to do this weekend. That's where I was heading out. I had 2 venues lined up to do that sort of fishing. And I would usually start on, I think about 30 centimeters is nice. It just depends. If you've got your braid popped up, then the whole idea of that is you're popping it up to put it in front of a fish's mouth at whatever depth you think the fish are at. So that, you know, if you think the fish are at half depth, then you need to work out what half depth is on that venue and on that peg, and just, you know, tailor it to suit the depth that you want to fish at. So again, it's trial and error, but I think 30 centimeters is a good starting point. But like I said, that's if you're popping it up. Who else we got here? Everyone's here. Thanks for checking in, everyone. I really appreciate you all commenting. It's nice to know that you've got notification that this video's gone on, because like I say, it wasn't advertised. So I'm glad you're all getting notifications. It keeps skipping so many messages on here. Thanks, everyone. I don't want to miss any out. So if you just forgive me, I just want to make sure I'm going down these in order so I can see them all for you. Like I say, if you don't want to comment now, then this video will remain on YouTube, so you can just comment below. I need your feedback to tell me what to produce for you, because like I say, I don't want to just try and produce entertaining stuff. It's not about that. It's about just kind of, you know, giving a few tips and tricks and just sharing my experiences with you. That's what this channel is all about. I know how fortunate I am. Some of the events I've got lined up this year, you know, if somebody said to me 8 years ago, this is what you're going to be fishing in 2020, and the way that I'm able to fish in them, I wouldn't have believed it, you know. And a lot of it is down to you guys jumping on board with this channel. It's all been a big part of it. So I know how fortunate I am to fish some of these events, and I want to share some of these experiences with you, because I know a lot of you are not fortunate enough to, probably some of these events you'll probably never even get a chance to see. Have you thought about going on the Riviera? Would you sit? What, Liam? Feeder Masters 2020. Have you thought about going on the air? Well, the tickets go on sale on Wednesday. I will be trying to get some tickets. I had to kind of ditch out of the competition a little bit last year. I ended up selling most of the tickets that I had. I didn't even get any tickets when they first went on sale because it was so busy at work that day. I never even got to my computer. But thankfully, thanks to some very kind people on YouTube and on Facebook, and some of the patrons and subscribers offered me a few tickets that they'd got extra, and I did manage to fish one or two of the qualifiers, but I did have quite a few that I just had to get rid of because I wanted to focus on my media side of the business, because I knew that for the sake of missing a few matches or 4 or 5 months of match fishing, if I could get this bit right, it would mean that I can focus on more fishing in the future. I'm no spring chicken anymore, and you know, I'm thinking of the future. So thankfully all that's kind of behind me now, all that's in place, so I can fish more matches. And if I can fish more matches, I can share more of the experiences and videos with you. So so yeah, I will be trying to get some Feeder Masters tickets, Liam, and yes, the Riviera will be on there. I think that's one of the dates that I can do, so I will be trying to get a ticket for that. Hi, where's the best place to fish in Sheffield for big carp? It depends how big's big. There's Loxley Fisheries, which is a commercial fishery just in Loxley Valley going up towards Danflass. There are some big carp in there, some barbel in there as well, and I think there are 1 or 2 sturgeon in there. That's a day ticket water, so that's Loxley Fisheries. Aston Park is a commercial fishery. I don't really know how big the carp go in there, because it is more of a commercial match type venue, a club match venue. They do have open matches as well, but I don't think they're massive carp in there. The other lake that's just down from Aston, where you first drive in, I know there's some big carp in there, but I don't really know any big carp waters, to be fair. Other than that, it's not really my bag, the old specimen carp game. But I'd love to have a go at it sometime, though. I will be honest with you. So I'm not too quite sure about big carp venues around here, unfortunately. Monday evenings, Black Cat-App. I don't even know how you pronounce that. Black Cat-Apps. Thanks for that. I'm always knackered after a weekend's fishing. Monday evening seems like a good idea. Monday evening, how does that sound to you? I could do one of these on a Monday evening for 20 minutes, half an hour, where we can just talk about our weekend. Let me know what you think to Mondays. Great channel, won lots of matches from watching the channel. Thank you. Thanks for that. That's great to hear. That's why I want to hear. And especially let me know what is in, you know, there are so many different aspects of feeder fishing and fishing that we can cover. Please let me know what it is that you want to see more of. I will let you know that the original, when I launched this channel, I was going to call it the Feeder Fishing Channel. All right. And the reason why I didn't is because I was thinking about the long term, and I knew that I wasn't always be feeder fishing all the time. So that's why I'll call it the Catch Fishing Channel, because I do want to get more pole fishing involved and just other aspects, more float fishing on rivers, waggler fishing, stick float, all that sort of thing. It is all there. It's in place. It's on its way. But like they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. But so yeah, there are loads more videos like that coming. So yeah, please let me know what kind of topics you want to see. Aaron Kenny, 7 o'clock is great. Okay, 7 o'clock on a Monday evening. How does Monday 7 p.m. sound? GMT time, because I know some of you are elsewhere in the world. So Monday 7 p.m. Let me know what you think to that. Do you start on a big hook and work downsize until you get bites, or do it in reverse? That's from Gary Adams. Great question, Gary. And it's something that I've heard this debated quite a few times. You know, should you start on a smaller hook and work your way up if the fishing's better than what you think, or you can get away with a bigger hook? There are 2 ways of thinking about that. One is, quite often you will catch fish early. I think Tom Pickering called it back in the 90s. I read his book, and he called them kamikaze fish. Sometimes the first few casts are when you're going to catch a fish. So that might be when you want to make sure that you've got a decent sized hook on, because you want to land that fish. But the other flip side, the other trail of thought is, if that's the best opportunity to catch fish, then why not have a more sensible, smaller hook on, so that you might catch more fish in that window. So it's just a case of getting a nice fine balance of you know, of what you know about the venue, how you think it's fishing, what bait you're fishing with, what target species that you're after. You know, a prime example will be like I fished at Allcroft last weekend, Allcroft Feeder Masters Winter Pairs, and I started on a 16. Now I know that on occasions there, depending on the hook bait that you're using, you could get away with a 14. Now you'd probably expect to land more fish with a 14 than a 16, certainly if you're fishing double baits, because we know that double hooking can be a problem. But I kicked off on a 16, but I also know that if it had been rock hard and nobody had had a bite, I was quite willing to go down to an 18. All right, but I felt a 16 was bang in the middle, because I thought, you know, if I do hook any bonus fish early on, I'm going to land them with that. But it's not too big to kind of miss out on any sort of window of opportunities. So, you know, I tend to start somewhere in the middle, if that's not a cop out, Gary. But like I say, if you want a bit more information on that, just please comment below. Matt Bretherton, how you doing, mate? Looking forward to seeing you down at Larford. Hi, Jamie. I'm at Boston Saturday. What's the secret to drawing 1, 2, 4? You need me, mate. You need that to come and put that in the draw bag for you. To be honest, Matt, don't draw 1, 2, 4. It didn't, you know, it didn't fish last weekend either. You know, it doesn't fish all year round. You'd always take it. Obviously, we've said this before. 1, 2, 4, you would always take the peg if it was offered to you, but it hasn't been dominating. You know, it's very, very hit and miss. Last weekend I wasn't there, but I know there was a golden rod feeder. In fact, Matt, I think, oh no, you won't have been there, Max. You've already qualified. It didn't dominate. It didn't even win the section. So, you know, well, it's up to you, Matt. I'm not sure what match that is. That'll be a Boston Masters qualifier, won't it? You've got to win your 10 peg section, Matt. So don't ignore skimmers. To win your 10 pegs there, obviously you've got to win your 10 pegs to qualify for the final in November. Don't ignore the skimmers. They are catching skimmers and bream, and the carp are very, very iffy. But I have spoke to someone today who's been messaging me. He's fished in the 50s today. Yes, he's been pleasure fishing, but he's caught loads of fish. So there are some fish in the deep water, and Lee Kerry was in the 70s as well. He won the match there at the weekend, and he was in the deep water as well. So it sounds like they're down in the 50s at the minute. So yeah, avoid 1, 2, 4, Matt. You want to qualify from a rubbish peg, not from that peg. You've got nothing to win by drawing that peg, mate, or winning off that. Bream for Life, that's a great log on name. Have you got the XR36 box yet? No. They've just coming back into the country. They all sold out. Some this week have gone out to tattle shops, because Matrix have always had an agreement and an understanding with all their consultants and sponsored anglers that whenever there are low stocks of tackle, the tackle shops and people like yourselves that want to buy them get them first. That has always been there, and that's exactly what's happened. So the first batch that came into stock was sold out straight away. The second batch, I've been told, arrived this week, and they're going straight out to tackle shops. So I'm at the back of the list. So I'm hoping to be getting mine at the end of the month. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that. What do you rate as best ground for Boston this time of year? That's from Nigel Collis. Hi, Nigel. Best ground. I'm assuming you mean ground bait. I mean, the last couple of times I've been there, I've used Ringer's F1 Black. All right, because that's what it's designed for. You know, it's quite sweet. It's dark and there's not much feed in it. You can overwet it. It's very versatile. And that's the mix that I've used the last couple of times I've been there. But I know there are other anglers that are using mixes that aren't that mix, like the Dynamite, the new Dynamite dark ones, the sweet ones. Andy Kinder used that when we fished the pairs match there. And he caught just as good with that, you know, if not more. So it's just more about having, for me, any sort of mix on there, the criteria of the mix that I would select to go on there, obviously, like I say, I've used the Ringer's F1 Black the last couple of times I've been, but there are 1 or 2 other mixes out there that have got the same kind of ingredients and the same kind of makeup as that mix. So just something nice and dark, not too much feed. I'm convinced on the sweet thing. I mean, the sweet ground bait thing is not something that I really got into until the last year. But I know that a lot of the top lads swore by using sweet mixers in winter. And until the last few months, I'd never really gone down that route, but I've been catching well doing that. So yeah, and a sweet mix. So something like that. There are several ones out there that you can use, but I've used the Ringers F1 Black the last couple of times I've been. Thanks for that, Nigel. Thanks for all the info, everyone. Do you have any more of the Groundbait series ready to view? Hi, Andrew. The Groundbait series, I know a lot of people are asking about it. Again, it's just been finding time to get out and film it for you. I've got loads of mixes to go through. I have got a lot of footage already done, and that will be getting rolled out within the next week or so. It's going to be an ongoing thing. There are so many mixes that I want to look at for you. I've had so many mixes that people have asked me to take a look at, and I don't just want to do them all from here, right here in the tackle room. Yes, I can mix them up. Yes, I can tell you what I think to them. Yes, I can show you them in the tank. I can show you where to get them from and how much they cost. But I know ultimately that will obviously get boring, and I know a lot of you want to see me go out and see if we can catch some fish with them. So that's the time-consuming bit. You know, I could do them all from this tackle room, but I don't want it to be about that. I want it to be a bit more in depth. So it's getting time to go out on the bank and fish with some of them. So in answer to your question, yes, there are, within a week, there'll be some more coming out, and I don't know how many more there are going to be. There could be 30, 40, even 50. So it is going to be an ongoing thing. So thanks for inquiring about that, because it's pleased. It's good to hear that you're waiting to see them. What feeders are you using at Hallcroft, mate? Neil. I've been swapping, I'll be honest with you. I've been swapping between various different cages, depending on the conditions. Anything that's like a 3-hole size feeder. You know, at times you've got to put a 4-hole on, and to feed the swim at the start. I've even used a 5-hole. I've even used a 6-hole for feeding my short line. But it's very much been determined by the conditions. I like to use the Legend Slims on there, which are nice soft rods. And as you know, Neil, from Allcroft, quite often there's always a wind of some kind, blowing across or whatever. So I haven't always been able to use the style of feeder I wanted to use because of the conditions. I love nice little flatbed feeders that sit on the soft bottom, really nice. But obviously, when you've got a strong wind blowing, sometimes you've got to switch to an Horizon rocket style feeder, which obviously get you to where you want to go, and that's what you need to do. You've got to get your feeder there, but they don't quite, they don't present the bait quite as good when they're actually on the bottom because of the design of the feeder, and the soft bottom. So 3-hole has been the main size that I've been using. So, but again, it's been that patchy, as you know. It's just been constantly ringing the changes, changing your mix, putting a bit more water in your mix, trying to dry a mix, just things like that, and that's what's been just keeping fish coming. We've got 2 rounds of that left to go. So I'm hoping Ring of the Changes is going to keep working. Stephen Norbury. Hi, Steve. Micro feeders. Any preference in manufacturer, Guru, Preston, etc.? Micro feeders. When you say micro feeders, Steve, do you mean like the any of the small feeders, like the 3-hole size feeders? Just let me know what you mean on that, or private message me, Steve. I'm not sure if I'm seeing you this weekend. I think we are, aren't we? I hope this weather's going to change for Larford. For those that don't know, we've got a group coaching day on Saturday at Larford Lakes with Dean Barlow. So we're really looking forward to that. So we're hoping this weather is going to calm down a little bit. Hi, Tyler. Hi, Jamie. What would you do if the fish aren't biting? Would you have a cast around your peg? It really depends what you're after. And, I'm not a big believer in casting around the peg when I'm fishing for bream and roach and fish like that, because I think those fish do come to feed. However, if you're chasing carp or you're looking for carp, then that's why a bomb can be so good, because thing is, with a bomb, you can plonk it in so many different areas of the swim without, you're not leaving a trail of feed around your peg. If you did that, obviously with a feeder, there's going to be little patches of bait everywhere, but with a bomb, you can do that. And we know what carp are like, and F1s, they ball up. And sometimes even when you find a spot where you caught one or two, doesn't mean to say they're going to stay there. Quite often, you've got to go looking for them again. They might have gone left, right, further out, whatever. So that's why bomb fishing like that is so effective. But to be absolutely honest with you, Tyler, most of the matches I fish now are feeder only matches, so you're not allowed to put a bomb on anyway. So yes, I will do it if it's a normal match, and you can do that under the conditions, but I don't tend to do that for bream and skimmers and roach and that sort of thing. I just mainly tend to do it for when I'm targeting carp and F1s. What hook length on a maggot feeder approach would you prefer? Been playing around and seem to struggle for bites or bits. Hi, Aaron. I know it might sound a bit of a cliche now, a bit of a broken record, but I love to start on a 50 centimetre hook length for most of my fishing now. I just think it's a really nice starting length. You know, you can quickly, obviously, shorten it, and if you've got longer ones made up, which most people do, then you can put a longer one on. And you know, the general rule on that is I like to start on 50 centimetres. And if you're missing bites, or you're not seeing bites, or your bait's getting smashed, then you can just shorten it. And just keep shortening it until you find, you know, they're not the right length that's long enough to get bites, but obviously it's short enough for you to hook fish. And if you're not getting any bites at all, then just put a longer one on. You've got nothing to lose. If you've got them already made up, like most people have, just put a longer one on. Start, say, you know, go from 50 centimeters to a meter, and just see if you can get bites that way. You know, it's just trial and error with things like that. So I know it's a bit of a broken record, but I love to start on 50 centimeters as a starting point. Who else we got here? The Essex Fisherman. Nice log on name, that one, mate. How do you best combat tangles when utilising a cage feeder? Well, thankfully, I'm going to say touch wood, but I don't believe in all that. Don't really get tangles now with the rigs. You know, I've tried lots and lots of different rigs over the last few months, really. Since being able to spend a bit more time on the bank, I've had more time to work on my own game, and I knew that there were always areas that I wanted to work on that I could improve on. Just little things like rigs, bite detection, reading bites better, all that sort of thing. And like I said, I'm just not suffering with tangles at all. I'm using a slightly different rig from what I've been using, and you know, it's working really, really well. So I don't know what kind of rig you're using, so if you want to comment below and just describe your rig to me, then I'll just let you know if it's anything like what I'm using, or if it's one that we've tried in the past and we've changed for some reason. So just let me know what your rig is. And the other thing is with that is just hit your clip as well. Hit your clip nice. If you can hit your clip nicely, that's going to help eliminate tangles as well. So but yeah, just comment below if you want to describe your rig to me, because it might be one we've already seen. Who else we got? Do you think feeder links improve bite detection in any way? If there's one topic that anglers of all levels have discussed more and more than anything over the last couple of years, it's been feeder links, you know, and that has been one of the key questions. You know, there's lots of anglers out there that say it improves bite detection. A lot of anglers out there are just not convinced with them at all. I have had lots of success with feeder links, but I haven't used a feeder link for a while now, for quite a few months. I've been experimenting without feeder links, and a lot of the fishing I've been doing with that sort of a feeder or cage feeder has really been short range work. So when I was at Carmill, I was fishing up to 50 meters. I didn't use one that way, but I did use a free running rig. On my short line at Carmill, I used a free running rig without a feeder link, and the matches I've been fishing at Hallcroft, I haven't been using a feeder link either. And based on all those matches, the fish that I've been catching, the bites that I've been getting, and the way that I've been reading the bites, I will hold my hands up and say, based on all that, I just haven't found the need for a feeder link. Now, if I was fishing for bigger bream at range, for example, then I might find that a link will be better, because it just kind of gives the fish a little bit more time to take the bait in. And as we know with bream fishing, it's sometimes, or more often than not, it's better to sit on your hands and make sure that the fish is on before you pick up. So I think if you're not after fast biting fish, if you're after fish that a little bit slower at feeding and taking the bait, then I think a feeder link will be better. But based on all my recent match results, if you want to say that word, I haven't used links at all, but it is an ongoing thing. That so great question, and it's a fantastic topic. I love to hear people talking about it. It's such a split opinion for so many people, and a lot of it depends on the feeder that you're using. A lot of the feeders that you can get have already got stems on them anyway, so that's already, if you're going to add a feeder link to that as well, you know, you could end up with about that much room from your main line or your braid to your to the snap link swivel or to the bottom of the feeder. So it depends on what kind of feeder you're using as well. Mike Smith, hi Mike. Hi Jamie. Do you ever use braid direct? Again, a massive topic that I've been focusing on over the last few weeks. I've been out experimenting with braid direct, and I've got to say, yes, I am now using braid direct in certain occasions. One thing I have done more than anything is shortened my leaders. The first time I did that was at Carmill a few weeks ago in the Golden Rod qualifier, and I shortened my leaders right down to, they were only about 1 meter, That's all they were. No, it wasn't 2 meters. It was 2 meters. I shortened them down just because I'd heard that the bites were really, really shy and they were catching small fish. And certainly on my 50-meter line, I wanted to be able to see every indication that I got, because I suspected we were going to be catching these or targeting those fish. So I fished with a 1 ounce tip at 50 meters, which is not something that I've really done before. Because usually at 50 meters you've got some sort of tow, so you need a slightly stronger tip on. I know that depends on the venues that you're fishing and the conditions. So in answer to that, Mike, yes, I'm using braid direct a little bit. Well, I'm using it a bit now, and but I've been building some sort of, it depends what kind of target fish you're after. I've been building some sort of shock absorber into the rig, even if it's only a 1 meter. I mean, I was doing this 3 years ago, fishing with a 1 meter shock leader, just to give the rig a little bit of cushion. It depends on what kind of mono you use for that. And I'm also a big believer that by having, I'll say, a meter, for example, of shock leader, certainly if it's a stiff shock leader, it just kind of pins the line down behind your rig. And as you can imagine, sometimes, certainly if you've fed one area of your swim quite heavy and you're hoping that some fish have settled on it, then when you cast on it, if you can get your rig down out of the way of any feeding fish that might be around your feeder, then that's going to help reduce line bites and indications, and ultimately spooking fish as well. Because if it was braided direct to a feeder, as we all know, braid tends to sink a little bit slower because it's more supple and it can move around more if there's fish feeding there. So I just think it helps pin if it's a stiff leader, that is, it just helps pin it down to the deck a little bit more behind your feeder. I'm going to go through the rest of these questions. Thank you so much, everybody, for logging on tonight. And like I say, from what I've seen so far, and I will read the rest of these comments now, Monday 7 o'clock seems and feels about right. So please let me know what you think to that. So thanks for all the feedback, really appreciate it. And if this is something you want to see more of, then obviously please comment below. I do read every single comment, so let me know. So thanks for logging on, everyone. I hope you've all had a fantastic weekend. I hope your working week doesn't take too long to get you back to the weekend. And I know I'm going to be seeing some of you this weekend. So thanks for logging on, really appreciate it. And I hope to see you in one of these sessions again real soon.